So today we're talking about medical and dental requirements in the homeschool law.
Which can get confusing.
It can get confusing. So we're going to go over this again. And I don't know if we ever did it specifically before.
I don't know if we ever
this
did
is the one
medical
thing that maybe we didn't do. So it was requested and we're very happy to do it. So as far as medical and dental requirements, you can list them on your affidavit that you are keeping up to speed with your medical care, your children's medical care and dental care and immunizations. That is, if you go to homeschoolpennsylvania.org and you go to the medical dental immunizations section there, it's right there on the front page, you will find all the information that I'm going to share with you right now. But on there, on homeschoolpennsylvania.org, on a separate page, is our affidavit, and it's actually the Pennsylvania Department of Education's affidavits are there also, and you can use any of them, and they all say pretty much the exact same verbiage. I'm keeping up with my child's medical, dental, and immunization, and you're signing off on that.
You're signing off, you're handing that in. So, in other words, you're saying that you're keeping that at home, so it's not necessary to
hand in the papers.
Hand in the paperwork. So when should medical happen?
So the medical it's a physical. It's a well child check. You could go in and say I'm doing the whatever year physical. So those happen when the child is entering school. Now this used to be 3rd grade, but now since the compulsory age dropped to 6 years old, it's now going to be roughly 1st grade or when your child enters school. And then again when they are in 6th grade, and then again when they are in 11th grade. So you would call and schedule your appointment. You say, okay, my child needs their 6th grade physical or their 11th grade physical, or just a well child check.
That's right.
For that year.
That's
and
right.
That would do it.
And you can just search online for the form. I believe it was at, you just Googled PA.
Let's see, yeah, form for
the
physical
PA exam for Pennsylvania.
exam. This is backwards, but this is what the
backwards.
one looked like. I had an old school one.
I have an old school one too.
But this is the new one.
Back when dinosaurs were roaming the earth and we started homeschooling, we still use the same form.
And then here's the second page, and it just has all the BMI stuff and whatever. And then this is the immunization page, which looks pretty similar to the one that I already have. And then this was just extra notes. So anyway, you can find this online. The doctor should have one at their office, but you can find this on the PDOH. I don't know all
Pennsylvania
this alphabet
of Health. Yes, PDOH.
This form is out there. This is a physical paper, and you would take this to the appointment, have your doctor fill it out, sign it, keep it in your file folder. If your affidavit says you're keeping up with medical, if you wrote your own and it doesn't say you're keeping up with medical, then you need to file these with the school district. But if your affidavit says you are, these stay at home in your file with all of your other school papers for that year, that child, however you organize it.
So that is for the physical. Well, dental is very much the same.
Yes.
Once again, form that you can find online.
Looks like this.
Happens when the child enters school. So approximately 1st grade, 3rd grade, 7th grade. So what is a dental?
So it's just your cleaning. Just go in for your regular, they clean, Mr. Tickle Brushy, what do they call him? I can't remember what I call him at the dentist. And then the doctor comes in, and he does his little thing and says, okay, you look great, or whatever it is that they say. And they fill out one of these forms for you. So that's the same thing. So if your affidavit says, yeah, I'm keeping up with my dental records, then you can keep this form in your file at home. But if your affidavit doesn't say that, then you need to hand a copy, don't ever give originals, a copy of these medical records, dental records to your school with your affidavit.
That's right.
So my suggestion personally is to use the affidavit that's on homeschoolpennsylvania.org. Any of them. Either CHAP has one that encompasses all ages, and then there's 2 from the Department of Education, 1 for elementary, 1 for senior high. They all say that I'm keeping up with the medical, dental, and immunizations. So I personally, that's the one I use, and then these forms stay in my files at home.
Yep, that's right. That's right. No need to hand them in.
That's true.
Also, you brought to my attention today that I never knew before, that if there is a financial issue, a struggle, or maybe no insurance, something like that, if you go to PennsylvaniaHomeschool.org and you click on that medical dental, there's a list of services that public schools are required to provide to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
if you're in a
interesting.
situation where you can't afford to go to the doctor to get that, or whatever your reason is that you can't make it to your doctor, there's a list here I'm going to read. The school is required, according to the law, to provide medical examinations, dental examinations, vision screening test, hearing screening test, threshold screening test. I'm actually not even sure what that is. Weight and height measurements, maintenance of medical and dental records so they can maintain your records, tuberculosis tests, and special exams, I guess, as you request them. But yeah, so if you need, you can just go to the nurse for free and have her do exams for you. That's your choice. I mean, you can private doctor or the nurse. It's up to you. It's all there on that web page if you want to check it out and read it for yourself. But yeah,
That's right. Now, occasionally, we do all of this. We hand in our affidavit and we have our records that we've kept at home. And certain school districts will send a letter asking you for certain things. That happens.
we need hearing and vision.
Yeah, that we need to have these records, and that happens in our school district personally. We usually get a letter every year requesting things, but as stated by the affidavit, you're keeping that information at
I'm
home.
already doing it.
Yeah, you're already doing it. So, so there, what would you advise people to do?
Well, I would, if you're keeping up with everything, honestly, and you have it all on file, or you're planning on, because sometimes you have to plan out dentist, every 6 months. It takes forever to get there. If you're planning on doing it, you don't need to go in and have that done. Our school district has never come after us if we've not gone. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't, because sometimes I haven't had the kids' eyes didn't get checked or whatever. I'm like, oh, I wonder where they're at, so I'll go. But sometimes I don't. I don't know. It's just kind of what I'm feeling like that year. But like I said before, you could, if you got that letter and you're like, wow, we haven't been in yet, and this would be, what I do like, and I did suggest this to a friend of mine who has lots of kids. What I do like about the nurse is that I can take all of my kids in there and they can get their height and vision and weight, all that stuff done in a half an hour, all of them at once. When at my doctor's appointment, they won't allow me to schedule more than 2 kids at once because they each require an hour in their schedule. So I'm a time management saver person. So there are times when I, just want that basic information. I take the whole slew of them into the nurse. She checks them out real quick for half an hour and it's done. So it's kind of, if you don't want to be involved with the school district at all, though, you just want to keep your private information. That's great and that's cool. So then you have the option of going to the doctor, whatever. It's to each his own.
Yep, to each your own. If you're keeping up, it's great. And it was actually a school nurse that caught a hearing issue with one of mine. So
Yeah. So
anyway,
okay.
on to immunizations. Yeah,
Immunizations.
there's a lot of confusion sometimes around immunizations and what's required, what the school district requires and what you're required to do.
Yeah, so in the same way the affidavits out there say, the verbiage is the same. It says, I'm keeping up with my child's immunization records. And it's the same as the medical and dental. So when that says to me that as long as you have your immunization in the physical, it's actually right in there, the physical form. This is the list of immunizations. When you get the physical done and they fill this out and you have it on file, you're good to go. You have it. And your affidavit says that you're doing it. So there's no need to hand this in. If you are a family that does exemptions, there's an immunization sample letter. I will read it to you. We don't have this posted anywhere, and I actually think I should, but it says immunization exemption letter has the date, to whom it may concern, reason, religious exemption. And then mother or father would sign that, being the legal guardian of, and then child's name. Object to the immunization requirements as outlined by the Department of Health of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania as defined in 28 PA Code CH23. That's where the immunization law is written. And on the basis of strong moral or ethical conviction similar to a religious belief as outlined in section 23.84 exemption from immunization, sincerely, and then name. And then on the bottom of this one, it even actually has the snippet in the law, so the verbiage is right there. So if you need an exemption letter, that's a great option. We should get this one out there. We don't
Yeah,
have that
we
out,
should-
so
we
it's
should, but you
it's an
can just
option.
you can just Google
Yeah,
and use
yeah,
an exemption letter that comes up. And,
yeah. And then you would keep this on file
Yes.
in your files.
yeah. And just to clarify, there are 2 exemptions: medical
Medical,
and
Religious.
religion. Yeah, religious. There used to be philosophical,
and
but
that doesn't
yeah.
exist anymore.
So they would be the 2 exemptions, and you
Yes.
just have that letter on file with the rest
With
of
everything
your
else.
information.
That's-
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.